You have to keep my eye on this because can I automatically let people come in? Perfect. So I don't have to look at this anymore. Oh, wow. Would you look at that? We are 6:30 on the dot. So with that being said, let's jump into this. Let's get started. First, I do want to say thank you very much, everybody that is here in today's session in another MITM Club road mapping session. We have something absolutely jam-packed for you guys today. What's up, Arusa? Thanks for tapping in and joining. It's great to see you. And I gotta say hey to everybody that did pop into the chat. Thank you guys for being here. This is a much more interactive experience when you are on Zoom with me. All right. We're figuring out how can we actually cast everywhere and answer everyone's questions from everywhere, but right now we don't have that functionality. So stop the music completely. How do I stop sharing this? It's so funny. Anytime I go into doing these things, I feel like an old person. Like, oh, how do I move this here? How do I move that there? I think did not stop sharing yet. Stop sharing my audio. Okay, well, we'll share this because that's the only way I know how to do it. Okay. So what's up, Deb? Thanks for joining. And yeah, we're going to be doing this every Monday. The next 3 ones that we have are going to be absolutely jam-packed. But I know that we always have folks that are tapping in that don't know who I am, don't know who's this guy with dreadlocks in a hoodie talking on the screen. So let's actually get to know each other. My name is, if my slides will work, my name is Ty Aarons. All right. And I came from 15 years in the 10 years, just over a decade now, actually, in the fitness industry, where I was a super, super, super skinny kid. I learned how to put on a good amount of muscle. And during lockdowns, I decided to make a pivot. You see, I opened up my own gym right before the lockdowns happened, October 2019. The best time to open up a gym. All right. And we had to pivot. We went from fitness to finance. So now, instead of talking about compound lifts, we're talking about compound interest. And one of the things that I keep telling folks is that fitness and finance are the same. Okay, fitness and finance are the exact same thing, right? So many folks don't realize that. It's dollars in, dollars out, calories in, calories out, same thing. Okay. And so I took everything that I knew about fitness and health promotion and I shifted it into the financial space, right? And I've been helping people for the better part of 5 years now. We teach in the Catholic Board. We teach at Centennial College, right? We teach in the TDSB2, and we're here teaching all of you guys that are tapped in and joining, all right? So you may be wondering, what exactly the MITM Club? When you first saw this, said big letters MITM Club. And I'll tell you exactly what the MITM Club is. The MITM Club stands for Millionaires in the Making. All right. $1 million are going to pass through your hands throughout your lifetime. The biggest question is how much of it will you keep so that you can grow it and make it work harder than you do. All right. So with everything that we're doing, that is the biggest and the main goal. And I'm just realizing this now. I did not actually put the title in my in my slides or presentations of what today's session is about, what we're going to talk about. So I'll tell you. Today, we are figuring out how we're going to master 2025. And how are we going to master 2025 specifically by making your blueprint for financial goal setting and success. All right. So by the end of today's session, and once again, jumping ahead of myself, but yeah, that's what we're going to be doing today. So MITM Club is based on 6 core pillars. The first pillar that the MITM Club is based on is the self. Everything starts with you. You are the character of your story. You're the most important being in your existence. And this is why we start with the self. All right. Afterwards, you look at your fitness. The only way that you can be well is and healthy is to make sure that your fitness is well, right? It's a key thing of wellness. The next pillar we have is family. Okay. You are the sum of the people that you spend the most time with. Your family will help dictate so many crucial aspects of your life. And family is not just those that we have blood relationships with. Family is also those that you choose to be with. So many of us have chosen family. And I would say that your chosen family will have a bigger impact on you than your blood relatives. All right. So family is another pillar. Then we have education, right? We're always learning. I like to say that everyone should be and or strive to be an autodidact. And that's just a perpetual learner. That's someone that's constantly learning throughout their entire life. All right. The next pillar that we have is fun because you can't just do work all the time, be so strict all the time. You need to have fun with your life. All right. And I do have to ask you guys, like, this is 5 out of 6 pillars, but there's one pillar that supports every other pillar. So I want to know, what do you think the pillar that supports every other pillar is? And you can put it in the chat. You can come off mute. You can shout it out loud. Feel free. But yeah, tell me, what pillar do you think supports every other pillar? On Okay, yes. And Sabali says finance. And the answer is finance. Yeah. That's why everyone's here today, right? So, your finances are going to help support every other pillar. It's going to help you be there for yourself a lot more. Have that self-care, the moments to self-reflect and be there for you. It's going to help with your fitness because your fitness is your body, mind, body, and soul. And whatever you put into your body is what you get out. And if you have good money, maybe you could put better stuff into your body, right? Your family, you could take care of yourself and others. I was actually talking with one of my mentors earlier today in the car while we were driving, and I was telling him like my main goal for being wealthy and rich is to be able to support and help my family because it's my ethical duty to be able to take care of my loved ones, right? If you look at supporting family as an ethical duty, it'll motivate you more to make more money, right? Um, Education. Hey, I just like if you want to learn more, learning more helps you earn more, but then it costs money to learn more sometimes. So finance helps support that and fun. I mean, hey, all of us like to go on vacations and take trips and do all these things. So finance helps support that too. So those are the 6 core pillars that the MITM Club is based on. And if you find balance in all these areas in your life, you're bound to be successful. You will find success one way or another. All right. So let's jump forward a little bit. Today's learning objectives. I want you by the end of today's session to have the blueprint for financial goal setting and success and understand exactly how to build your roadmap. Now, you'll hear me say a lot of acronyms throughout this session, and I'm going to show you guys exactly what roadmap means in a minute, just like I told you what cash means, KASH, knowledge, attitude, skills, and habits. That's cash. That's the cash that we actually care about. Because even if you lose your money cash, the mindset cash will always make you more. Okay. So let's keep it rolling. Here are some finance facts. All right. 2 out of 5 Canadians believe they'll never be debt free. All right. On average, Canadians are spending $1.70 for every dollar that they make. All right. 32% of Canadians have nothing saved for retirement, and it costs a whopping $16,500 per year to raise a child in Canada from 0 to 18. Okay, and that's the average. Sometimes it's a little bit less at some points, some ages it's a lot more. And because of the pink tax, it's a lot more for girls, right? Why are the pink razors more than the black razors in the store? I don't think it's fair either, like, but it's a thing, right? And whatever other needs that women have that adds to those costs. And financial stress is one of the top 3 reasons why people end up divorcing. Okay, let's look at some other finance facts real quick. So if we look at 100 people, we gather 100 people all together in a room, right? And they worked for 40 years. So they went through the whole school to work pipeline. They're 25, they start working, and 40 years are doing their thing. This is what it looks like, all right? 54% of people are dependent on someone else or Big Daddy government to live their life, all right? 36% of people are working still. Okay, when you see older folks in work Walmart greeters or working at Tim Hortons or all these other places where it's like, wait, you're like you're 60 something. Why you should be retired? Why are you still here? Right? It's because we have to. They have to. We have about, what is that? 5% of people are deceased, so they're out of the game. And when you think about how much it, like, I don't know if you guys ever thought about how much it costs to die in Canada. Because, yes, the government charges us for everything. So it does cost money to die in Canada. And Ontario is one of the most expensive places to die. We're looking at, if you can get on the low end, about $10,000 to $24,000 for a basic funeral, right? So many families go into debt just burying their loved ones. It's so sad, right? Okay, we have 5% of 4% of people that are okay. This means you have $1 to $5 million invested or saved so you can live off interest. All right. That you will not, I mean, unless you're living extremely lavishly, you won't outlive that money. All right. Hopefully. And then you have the 1% that have 5% of 5 million or more. Okay. And in some of our other talks, I go more in depth where I actually talk to you guys and share with you how, like what different economic statuses are, right? What it means to be the 1% in Ontario. I think it's like over 300 and something $1,000 earned per year. Like it's amazing, I think, but it's ridiculous. Like there's so many of us that are struggling that's like, yo, these guys are living it up. And that is what it takes to be a part of the 1% of the 1%, right? Now, there's a couple of reasons why so many people are failing when it comes to their finances. In fact, 90% of people are actively failing when it comes to their finances. Does anyone want to guess the three reasons why? And everyone that's on Instagram, you guys can answer too. But yeah, feel free to tell me, why do you think people are failing when it comes to their finance?
Because they're unprepared, maybe.
Yeah, some folks are definitely unprepared, and that is technically one of the answers. So let's see if it's the first one. It is no financial education, sort of. That's Let me see which one of yours. There's three of them. I'll give it to you. There's no game plan. So when we say they're unprepared, there's no game plan. They don't have their roadmap. Okay, I'm giving you a hint of what roadmap is going to mean. All right. And the other reason why so many people fail is because they don't have a coach. They don't have a guy named Ty to help them figure out their money, to make the money work harder than they do. Right. So let me turn off this phone. It shouldn't be on. So let's fast forward a little bit. Actually, before we do that, who do you think we can help? I want you to actually think about who you can help when it comes to learning about finances and becoming more financially literate. Okay. Think of the people that you love, you cherish, you care about, and how we could actually make their lives better. All right. Throughout this whole presentation, there might be one or two nuggets that come up. In fact, I'll preface it like this. When I was 15 years old, I went to this one seminar and I learned in that seminar that no matter where you go in life, no matter what you do in life, that you should try to find five key nuggets that you can pull from that space and learn from. So today I invite you to do the same thing. By the end of today's session, I hope that you can get five key nuggets to walk away with. And I'm going to ask you guys again at the end. If I forget, remind me, please. So, how did I get here? And I'm actually really excited because my grandma's on this call and I don't think she's ever heard this story. Um, but this is Tiny Ty. This is Tiny Ty back in grade 9, where his feet are too big for his body and his clothes are super awkward and weird and whatever. This is Tiny Ty in grade 9. And Tiny Ty was in love with this girl. And unfortunately, Tiny Ty had all the wrong shoes. Like she hated all the shoes that he wore. She's like, no, those are weird. Like you should wear Jordans. Why are you wearing Shacks? Like, you know? She's like, oh, you got the wrong phone. I had this Sony Ericsson and everyone had a BlackBerry. And by the time I got my BlackBerry, everyone switched to iPhone. I'm like, ah, man. Can't even. I finally got on BBM. Now everyone's blue and green bubble war with their iPhones. So Tiny Time in grade 9 is like, I know the only way that I can get out of this is to make money. I want to be rich. So I went to my grandmother And my grandmother is one of the wealthier people that I know in my life, right? So I'm like, Grandma, I want to be rich. And she told me, you better go and talk to Paul. And now Paul was my grandmother's financial advisor, and he helped her with investments. Okay. At the time, I think he was helping her for about 30 years. Now, Paul helped my grandmother into the house that she wanted. He helped her get the cars that she wanted, and he helped her go on the trips and vacations that she wanted. Now, when I sat down with Paul, I told Paul the same thing. I'm like, Paul, I want to be rich. And he's like, you can be if you follow these teachings. All right. Now, Paul sent me on this journey. And the journey was of self-discovery, self-understanding, and a whole lot of books. Okay. In fact, the first thing that Paul did is he's like, hey, I want you to get this book. It's called The Magic of Thinking Big. Right. Actually, this is also one of the books that my dad, we did a podcast during the lockdowns, and this is one of the books that he suggested that everyone should read before they die. I always ask these weird questions to folks like, what's a book you think people should read before they die? Right? This is one of the books my dad said you should read before you die. The Magic of Thinking Big. Right? The next book that Paul told me to read was Think and Grow Rich. Okay. And the third book he said was As a Man Thinketh. Now you may see a pattern here. All of these books have to do with thinking. And except for Think and Grow Rich, they have nothing to do with money. Right. And I'm like, Paul, I said I want to be rich. Why you tell me to read these books, man? Like, what do you think? You think I'm stupid? Why this has nothing to do with money? He's like, no, no, watch. Just do this first and you'll understand. I'm like, okay, I trust you. Because my grandma trusts you, I trust you. All right. Then he said, I want you to get The Richest Man in Babylon. Okay. There's lots of short stories that will help you start to grasp and understand these concepts around money. And the final book that he told me to get, which many of you may know, maybe you've read it, I don't know, but it is called Rich Dad Poor Dad. And with these 5 books, Paul said, this is how you're going to start your journey. Okay. And I will give you my Audible account. Now, this is back when Audible, you can download things and keep everything forever. In fact, I have a little USB that I used to wear on my neck. I have all of the audiobooks that I could have downloaded at the time and these books on that USB. So I still have them in audio form for me, right? And he's like, I'll give you 24 hours. Get as many books as you can. And then I'm going to change my password. Time starts now. And with that, I was off on my journey. This is how my financial beginnings began. Okay. So today, I want to be your Paul. I want to help you on your financial journey. And the first thing that I want to give you is your roadmap. All right. Now, roadmap, this is something that I've been developing since I was 15. From my first start of my journey, I've been looking at how to tweak things, how to make things more accessible for me, easier for me to understand and wrap my head around, and I could teach it to other people. All right. I love teaching. I've always loved coaching. That's why I got into the fitness industry and in the finance industry. I'm treating it the exact same way as if it was fitness. So join me on this journey. Now, roadmap stands for review, organize, align, define, and then massive action plan. All right. If you need to write it down, write it down. But I'm going to keep on repeating it. And we're going to go through your roadmap today. In fact, the coolest thing about the roadmap that I really loved is you can take this this outline, this template, this framework, and apply it to any aspect of your life. Anything that you need to deal with. You review, organize, align, define, and then make your massive action plan. You'll be blessed. All right. This has saved me from so many pinches in my life that I want to make sure you guys get this game today. So let's start with our review. And today our review is centered around finance. All right. It's around money. And it's going to kind of take a turn. You guys might not expect this, but when we're reviewing, I want you to first look at your past. I want you to look at your past. I want you to consider where you came from. I want you to think about what your family was like. I want you to think about what your family dynamics around money was, all right? I want you to think about what kind of spending habits your family had. I want you to think about what kind of financial status or economic status your family had, okay? I want you to think about the relationship that your family had to money. Did your family say that money doesn't grow on trees? Because I could tell you that I learned at 14 that's wrong. I'll say when I had my Fresh Prince moment. I was being a bad kid, and I got sent out to Vancouver to live with my uncle for a bit, and I was working on the farms. And working on farms, I'm picking apples. You had to like this wear this big pouch on the front of your body and strap it over your shoulders, and you take the apples, you put it in this pouch. Okay. And every time I dumped out that big pouch in a giant box, I made 20 bucks. And that's when I learned that money does grow on trees, right? You want to know about your family's relationship to money. What are some sayings that they had? How do they talk about money? All of these things will either help elevate you or pull you down simply because they're ingrained in our subconscious, deep within ourselves. And I want to invite you. I just realized I wasn't recording where I'm supposed to. I want to invite you to reshape that. One of our future sessions, I'll be talking about how to brainwash yourself for success, but we're not there yet. So let's keep this going. Also, with your past, I want you to start thinking about yourself. What have you done in the past with your money? I'm sure that there's lots and lots of money that has gone through your hands. And some of it, maybe you kept it, maybe you spent it, maybe you gave it away. Maybe you invested some of it. I don't know. But what have you done in the past with your money? All right. What are things you buy just for the sake of having? Okay. I know my dad's always saying he's a chocoholic and he passed it down to me. I'm a chocoholic. I say I'm a recovering, reluctant chocoholic. How many times have I just bought a Snickers? I think I've given the Mars company, because I think they own Snickers. Maybe they don't. I don't know. But I think I've given that company thousands of dollars at this point, right? What are things you buy just for the sake of having? What are your money pits? And when I say money pits, I'm not talking about things that stink, although sometimes they do suck your money away from you. This is like smoking, buying tech, buying Jordans, different coping mechanisms, buying things to provide, like subscriptions. These are money pits. So I want you to take inventory on what money pits you have had in the past. All right. Do, 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 do. And then we're going to shift gears a little bit to our present. And I'm going to do something for you guys. Everyone that is on Zoom, there's two ways you could do this. If you are on your phone, or if you're on your computer and you have a phone nearby, you can scan this QR code. Okay. And it's something that's interactive. And oh my God, can I copy this or not? I'm trying to see if I could put the other thing in the chat for you guys that are not on your phone. So just give me 1 second. It should, maybe I gotta go over here. Do, 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 do. It should be here somewhere. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So for everyone that is on, um, not on their, that is on their phone, I'm gonna give you the link just now. Because I want this to be a bit of an interactive experience for you guys. So it's not just me talking at you. Okay, so I just put this link in the chat. I'm gonna give you guys a moment, just one moment. Don't take too long. It's just a very, very, very short 2 questions. You can, when you go through this, you get to answer twice. Okay, so you get to pick 2 items. If you did the thing yes, or you didn't do the thing no, and you'll see it once you click the link. All right. Once you guys have all clicked the link, just give me a thumbs up in the chat so I know that you guys did the thing. All right. Give me a thumbs up in the chat so I know you did the thing. And while you guys do that, I'm gonna reset up my presentation. Enter full screen. Wonderful. Got it. Okay, we got 1 thumbs up. Thumbs up in the chat, guys, so we can continue. I kind of need the participation. The next slide will not work unless you guys all do the thing. Well, hopefully it works when you guys all do the thing. Amazing. 2 thumbs up. While we wait. Hey, what's up, Jason? Thanks for joining the live stream. We're talking about building your financial roadmap. And right now we do have an interactive piece for everyone that is on Zoom. So you can hang tight, you can hang out. If you have any questions about finance, feel free to shout them out. And we will keep it going. I see 2 thumbs up in the chat. I know we have like 7 people. I think we could do a little better. I'm gonna put some music on while I wait for you guys to do the thing. This music's too there we go. Yeah, it's good vibes. Added to mine. Okay. That's so funny. Okay, 3 thumbs up. You know what? I think that's a good enough number. So let's see. Hopefully I did the thing properly. All right. And is it loading? There we go. You guys can't see it though. There we go. All right. So I currently track my expenses. I do not track my expenses. I have an emergency fund. I do not have an emergency fund. So we have 2, 2, and 1, 1. I think next time I'll make this a little bit better. This is my first time testing this out, guys, so bear with me. But we can see that, some folks do track, some folks don't track. Some folks do have an emergency fund, some folks don't. The next time we do this, I'm sure that everyone is going to say, I do track, even a little bit. And everyone's going to say, I do have an emergency fund, even if it's just starting. All right, that's the mission. Okay, let's shift gears a little bit. Spending types. I don't know if you guys know this, but there's 5 different spending types. I'm going to kind of breeze through this just a little quickly. The first spending type is abundant. Okay. So when you're an abundant spender, you don't feel bad about spending. You might actually feel really good about spending. All right. You're happy. You're like, I feel good about the thing I'm about to buy. You're like, hey, I'm positive overall. Right. And if you're abundant, great. But it's not always the best spending type to be. Okay. As much as it is good emotionally, it might not be good for your wallet. And I'll tell you, well, I remember sometimes we go into these different zones and you may be all 5 of these spending types at different times, right? There's this one Jamaican tune. It's like, just got paid and I got a little money to burn. This is the abundant spending type. Okay, you got money to burn. What do you mean? You just slaved away to make it and now you want to burn it? That's insane, right? Okay, the next spending type is neutral spending, right? This is probably one of the better spending types to be in, okay? You want to be neutral. You don't want to be emotional about your money, okay? I mean, you could feel good about it, but being neutral is great. So you're neutral about spending, you're neutral about paying for things, you're neutral, you're good, okay? You're not happy, you're not sad, it's just life chugging away, all right? The next spending type is scarcity spending. I know a lot of us, especially in the market that we're in and the way that our everything is going, may be feeling that scarcity spending. All right. You may be resistant. You may feel bad about the price. You may feel bad about the item you're paying for. Okay. This is scarcity spending, and there's a lot of negatively charged emotions around that spending type. You don't want to be negative, thinking about your money negatively, because it's going to make your money run away from you. All right. The next spending type we have is avoidance. This one is very interesting. And I find that a lot of young folks, a lot more younger folks, are avoiding spending. When you're in this spending type, it's like you're scarce, but then you're using cards or your phone to tap and pay for everything. You're just tapping away your money in a way that you don't have to think about it. You're avoiding the thought because the scarcity is already too strong. You're like, ah, man, I feel so uncomfortable that now I don't want to think about it. I want to avoid it. Okay. And the next spending type is emotional spending, right? I mean, everything is technically emotional spending, but this one is specifically when you're feeling bad, you're feeling angry, or you're feeling powerless, you go on a shopping spree. They call it retail therapy for a reason, right? You get serotonin, dopamine, oxytocin when you go shopping. It may be because you feel like you're in control of something. Yeah, that dress looked cute or those shoes looked fly, and all of a sudden you want to go and spend that money to feel good again. All right. So many people are doing. So all of this is a part of our first step, and you're just reviewing, okay? You're just reviewing to explore your relationship with money, okay? We looked at your parents and your family. We looked at yourself. We're looking at your relationship, what spending types you're in, and you're always in one of the spending types. You're always in one of them, okay? Um, and now these are some questions to ask yourselves, like, where do your money values come from? Does money make me feel confident or insecure? Do I have a history of making good financial decisions? And if not, then why? Right? Am I hesitant to take action when there are issues regarding money? I know that's one that I had to really get out of because when I was younger, I'd be like, I know this bill's coming up, but I don't really want to do the thing, or I get a parking ticket. Parking tickets are the worst. I'm like, I don't want to pay this. I don't want to think about it. Like, am I impulsive with money or do I have the discipline to say no? For all the parents out here, do my children have good values with money, especially if they'll inherit it from me? It's a great question to ask yourself, right? Are you setting up the future generation to be good with money? And how do I talk about money? How do you talk about it? I've been watching a lot of Reverend Ike, and it's really funny because he says money is like a jealous lover, or money is like a woman that wants to be wooed and cared about and all these great things, right? And it's helped shift my money perspective a lot. When I was like, yo, uh, money is attracted to me. I can't do anything about it. I couldn't push it away if I wanted to. It always keeps running back to me, and I'm happy. Like, so money comes easily and frequently to me. That's something that I'm always saying, and you may hear me say if we're ever talking about cash, right? So knowing your past and present is the key to starting your roadmap. Okay, now that you know where you came from, you know where you're standing, now we can start to go on our journey and actually build the next step of our roadmap. And the next step, as you guys may remember, is to get organized. Oof, this can be so tough. And I talk a lot about organizing when it comes to money. Originally, I was gonna go deep into budgeting, but we're gonna be going. I have a 3 hour, which I'm trying to break up and make it more digestible, just on budgeting. All right. And we've already talked about it so many times. So if you guys want to talk about budgeting, you guys can check out the YouTube channel. I'll send out some links if you want to know more about budgeting. But today, the way we're going to talk about organizing is categorizing your income and categorizing your expenses. Pretty straightforward, right? Categorize how money is coming to you. Here are some of the ways that money will come to you. Do you have a salary? Do you do freelance work? Do you have investments? These are kind of the basic three ways that, oh, I just realized I did not, hold on. Sorry, guys. I'm here talking, you're just looking at my face. So you have salary, we have freelance work, we have investments, all right? Keep track and record the total amount of money that's actually coming in, okay? This is a starting point of getting organized with your money, okay? I know this is something I got to practice because money comes to me easily and frequently from multiple sources on a continuous basis that I get to keep using and spend at the benefit of all. Sometimes I lose track of where it's coming from, right? But you want to start to keep track of where your money is coming from. Once you've done that, you want to pay yourself first. This is one of the principles in The Richest Man in Babylon. Pay yourself first. Okay. And you guys will hear me say this over and over. And I will tell you, if you don't remember anything else that I say, or you don't care about anything else that I say, please pay yourself first. What does it mean to pay yourself first? Well, treat yourself as if you're a bill. Okay. You have a phone, you're gonna go pay the phone bill. Okay, great. And you wanted some, I don't know, I always talk about chocolate. You want to buy chocolates, you're gonna go pay that company, and you want to go drive somewhere, you're gonna pay that company, and you have to pay rent, you're gonna go pay that, or you gotta pay your mortgage, you're gonna pay that. And then after all of that, you're like, well, I have $5 left. I think I'll save this for myself. Like, pay yourself first and aim to do 10% or more, okay? From this point on, the only person that's in charge of you is future you. The reason why you're paying yourself first is to pay future you so they can live a better life than present you is living. If you do not put anything away, you will be a part of the either 56% or 54% or the 36% that is dependent or having to work. You will never have your money work harder than you do. It's just a fact. You didn't save anything. You didn't put anything else to work. So when you pay yourself first, I had someone ask me, like, what does it mean? What do you mean pay myself first? I should put in a savings account? No, you should take that money and put it to work. In The Richest Man in Babylon, they say that your money its job is to multiply. It's like your slave, because that's the language they used before, right? That's supposed to go out there and work, and one should turn to two, and two should turn to four, and four should turn to eight, and et cetera, right? This is what paying yourself first means and the goal of paying yourself first. All right, let's continue talking about categorizing your expenses. Okay, your first expense is paying yourself first. Your second expense, or your second, now with the other expenses, are your fixed expense and your variable expenses. Okay, you guys may see I got a nice big boulder and I got a river over here. Okay, the fixed expenses are things like rent, utility, insurance, and sometimes subscriptions. Okay, some subscriptions. Okay, Netflix is not supposed to be a fixed expense. It doesn't have to be. Okay, it should be in the variable where you could cut it off if you don't need it. You can live without it. All right. But maybe you have a water heater subscription, right? Maybe you have your groceries on a subscription basis. Eh, those are kind of whatever. But your fixed expenses are your big boulders that don't move. All right. So start to go in and look at what all your fixed expenses are. So many of us just have bills coming in and going out. We don't even question the bills. And we just pay the thing, not looking for any errors. Like, no, this is supposed to be this amount. Why is it this amount? Right? Look at where your fixed expenses are and be aware of them. There's so many times you'll make mistakes and you may be paying more than you're supposed to, right? And I was switching around my insurance the other day, and they made a mistake as I'm getting new insurance for my car. And I'm like, hey, no, fix this. Be aware of have your mind on your money sometimes. Okay. Then you have your variable expenses. These fluctuate on a month-to-month basis. This can be groceries, entertainment, dining out. These are more of the luxuries of life, right? That are fluctuating and variable. But we could also have things like, a car repair, variable expense. You don't, hopefully you're not repairing your car every single month. If you are, get a new car, please. But hopefully you're not, fixing that every month as a fixed expense. Okay, these are variables. Okay, next we look at income allocation. This is one of my favorite things. In fact, I first started doing my income allocation when I first started making money, but after I talked to Paul. So let's say I was 15 or 16 years old, and I had a red notebook that I would write down these following percentages. So the first percentage, can you guys guess what the first percentage was? I'll tell you. Yes, exactly, Deb. Pay yourself first. That was my first percentage. Amazing. See, we got, yes, Travis, 10%. Pay yourself first. And what I say here is it may be difficult to start with 10% right away. Okay. I want to be realistic. I want to give you something tangible so you don't feel defeated. So if 10% is a lot, start with 1%. And then realize it feels silly. And then maybe you do 5%. And then maybe you're like, 7%. You can work your way up to 10%. Okay. You don't have to just do it all in one moment. You could work your way up to paying yourself first 1%, 2%, work your way. The goal is to get to 20% or more. Okay. And the way we do that is by increasing our income so that 20% doesn't really hurt our lifestyle. Right. But incrementally work your way up. The next place is your emergency fund. 10 to 20% of your income. And next week, we're actually going to be talking about how your emergency fund will make you rich. And the 11 state, you guys may not know this, there's 11 different stages of wealth. In our past talks, we talked about the first three stages of wealth. And in next week, we're going to actually dive into all 11 stages and how to make that a reality. All right. So your emergency fund is your second place. And at minimum, guys, 3 months emergency fund, three to 6 months. And I tell folks you want to have about 30%. Did I say 30%? Yeah, 30% more available per month for your emergency fund. So if my math is correct, if your expenses, I'm trying to remember the thing that I had written out. If your bills are like about 4,500 per month, something like that, then you should have like 5,600 per month in your emergency fund because the emergency is going to hit. You don't know what it's going to be, and you may need more money than just to survive, right? You want to thrive during emergencies, not just survive. But 10 to 20% start putting that there. Then we got our fun money. I like to call this, I literally, in my bank, I call it my living wealthy account. Now, this is money that I can be stupid with. This is the money I can go to Vegas with, baby. This is where I can go party with friends or do whatever I want. My living wealthy account, my fun money. I can buy this unicorn water, whatever thing that I know they cost like $200 to $400. Wonderful. Fun money. Have fun. Live your best life. Don't feel guilty spending this money, okay? Abundance. Great. Yay. Right? 5 to 10%. Because you only have this one life and you should enjoy your life, right? And then 50 to 70% is what you should be living on. If you can live on 50% of your income, congratulations, you're blessed. If you can live on less than that, even better, right? But 50 to 70% is what you should be looking at. And play with these numbers to do something that makes sense for you, okay? I am not your God. So what I say is not law. These are just suggestions to help you start to build out your financial future. All right. So now that we've started doing our asset allocation or our income allocation, you should adjust your spending to stay on budget. Okay. So I like to say your dreams are possible when you write them down, and I'm gonna keep on saying this, but you want to start to eliminate your cash drainers. Okay. Your bad habits, smoking, drinking, eating too much fast food. Oh man, the fast food is one that really gets you because it's like what you go out for lunch, you're spending $25 for a little nothingness, and then you're hungry later. Like, that's like I don't know how much groceries you can get and just meal prep. It takes a little bit more time, but you're giving away your time, but that's a whole other rabbit hole I can go down into. Cash advances. I tell all my students, guys, avoid this like the plague. It's a trap. Okay. There's a video game I got them to play called Shady Sam, which teaches them about these money market and loan places and all that greatness. And it's like they see how these people actually try to get them to take longer term loans and give them whatever money because they know that they're gonna make money hand over fist afterwards, right? Impulse buys, right? Maybe wait 24 hours when you see the thing you want. Wait 24 hours, see if you still want it. If you still want it, then check out your living wealthy account. See if you can buy it. Live your best life. Single-use purchase items, avoid them if you can. And then we don't want to just think about eliminating drainers. We don't want to just think about not spending money. We want to think about making more money. Okay. That should be your goal. Make more money. Right? Type in the chat. I want to make more money. Okay. Negotiate a raise if you're working somewhere. Pick up side hustles if you need to, right? Look for ways that you can make more money without necessarily taking too much more of your time. Right? I know everyone here has some sort of skill, some sort of area of expertise that you could probably share with someone, tell someone about. You could charge for the wisdom that's in your head. Okay. So that's that for adjusting. Now, as we are getting organized, you also want to go through your essentials, okay? Your income statements, your pay stubs, freelance invoices, business earnings, all right? You want to keep track of these. Um, Sometimes you're especially when you're working places, sometimes they really mess up your pay, and if you're not on top of it, then they just get to slide under the radar and paying you less. That's not cool, right? expenses like receipts, your bills, your grocery receipts, your training expenses. You want to keep track of these things. I had the training expenses in there specifically because I did do a workshop at Centennial for fitness instructors. And I'm telling them, guys, you can pretty much write off your life as a fitness instructor. You film a little YouTube video or Instagram, TikTok, whatever video while you're making your breakfast saying, guys, this is how you eat this, that meal and the stuff that you bought to make that meal is now a business write-off. Like there's so many cool ways you could write off everything in your life. Um, but I'm not an accountant. I'm not your tax person. If you want to go more in depth, send me a personal message. I'll give you guys some game there. But keep track of your expenses, your bank statements, okay? Your monthly statements for checking and savings. Most banks will only keep your information for 2 years. After 2 years, they kind of shred it, get rid of it. Keep a file for yourself, okay? Tax documents, your past tax returns. I think you need to keep it for at least 7 years or something crazy like that, all right? And the receipts to go along with those. Investment records, like the statements for your RSPs, TFSAs, and all other investments. You want to keep all of these documents ideally in one place. Okay. Keep it safe. If it's digital, make sure you have it safe in a digital place. If it's physical, make sure you have the right format, the right folders, maybe something that's locked so no one else can get into it. So in the future, if you choose to sit with someone to get help with your finances, you're not running all over the place confused and you don't know what's up from down. You could actually just take your folder, take the thing and sit with them and go through things pretty quickly. That's actually part of the reason why I created the Money Mastery Dash to help you master your cash in 5 days or less, but that's a whole different conversation. But it's mainly to help you get organized. That's the biggest thing about the Money Mastery Dash. And yeah, organizing your documents. I kind of see, I always jump ahead of myself. So digital versus physical, decide where you're going to put things and how you're going to put it, right? Label everything clearly. Okay. Clear labels make it easy for you to access later on. Okay. Regularly update. I tell folks, look, when you get paid, maybe you should review your stuff. And if that's too much, at least once a month, just give it a quick look over. And once you've done it the first time, the next times is easier. Like getting all of this started first is the hardest. Okay. After you've gotten all of this started and you've got some momentum, it becomes vastly easier, like so much easier because you're not building the thing anymore. You're just maintaining and managing the thing. All right. So, with that being said, that brings us to the end of our organize, and our next section is to align. All right. We want to align our financial life with where we want to go. And just like this person is setting up their dominoes, you've done the groundwork. Everything we've done so far is dominoes. Now we just got to get it perfectly lined up so we can knock it over and see our massive action plan fall into place. So why should you align your financial goals with your current lifestyle? Your goals should reflect your circumstances, including your income, your expenses, and your lifestyle choices. And I'll add on who you are as a person, like you personally. That's what your goals should reflect. They say, show me where you spend your money and I'll tell you who you are, right? I can 100% tell you who you are. If you show me your books, I'll be like, that's who you, okay, I see you. You know? Goals that are in harmony with your present situation are more achievable and sustainable. It'll be that much easier to actually achieve your goals when it's like, I'm just vibing. I'm just doing the things that make sense for me, right? And when you align with your lifestyle, it makes sure you're setting yourself up for success and not frustration. I told my folks, I'm like, I want you guys to dream big. I want you to think massive, but don't be like, I'm gonna get a Ferrari next week and you're not even making minimum wage. Okay, that's stupid. Like, you're just gonna set yourself up for disappointment. But what I say, actually, this is a part of vision casting. I jump all over the place a little bit. So here is an example. If your current lifestyle includes high spending on dining out or travel, it might be unrealistic to set a savings goal of 50% of your income for retirement right away. Okay. We talked about our income allocation. And if you want to set a goal for your wealth capture account or your investing account, or whatever, it might not make sense to say, yeah, I'm going to do 50% tomorrow, but you're going on dates every single weekend, spending $200-300 on a date, you know? Instead, start with something more achievable, like saving your emergency fund or paying off high interest debt. In fact, you should not, if you have debt, you should probably start by clearing off the debt and then save, but at least have your 3-month emergency fund and then start getting rid of the debt. So you have a little bit of cushion if things hit the fan, so you don't end up going back in debt. Well, yeah, yeah. So my favorite quote, the best way to predict the future is to create it. And the way we create it is we write it down. Now I have something that we did go over before and we will go over again. It's called vision casting. Okay. What do you want? What do you want? Like what do you actually want? What do you want out of life? It's your story. You're the character. You get to write it. You get to create it. Whatever it is, it's whatever you want. So what do you want? And I want you to start by thinking far into the future. I want you to think very, very far into the future. I want you to think long term. Okay, I know here I say 3 to 5 years, but when we do our vision casting, we cast it out 15 years into the future and we reel that bad boy back. Okay, so let's stick with the theme of 3 to 5 years. Consider your bigger financial aspirations like, do you want to buy a house? Do you want to pay off student loans? Do you want to secure your retirement savings? Right? These are things that you can, in the next 3 to 5 years, you can make tangible steps and meaningful progress towards making those goals a reality. So 3 to 5 years from now, this is something for you guys to do right now. What do you want financially? Think of one or two things for now. 3 to 5 years from this exact moment, what do you want financially? And write them down. I'll give you guys a second. You could put it in the notes on your phone or write it down, whatever. What do you want? What do you want 3 to 5 years from now? Okay. And then once you know your 3 to 5 years, we work backwards. I said we start with our vision casting far into the future and we reel it back in, right? So what is your midterm goals? What do you want to achieve in the next few years? 1 to 3. This could be building an emergency fund. Oh, wow, there's some sort of a theme going on here. Could be paying off debt. Could be making a significant purchase like a car or going on a little vacation, you know? You should relax. You should go on vacation. You deserve it. Tomorrow's promise to no one. That's what my dad likes to say, right? Tiptoe financial. Tomorrow's promise to no one. You should do these things in the next 1 to 3 years. Write down one or two things, or maybe three, that are your midterm financial goals. I want you to really feel it viscerally. These goals that you have, so you can align yourself with the goals. And then short term, identify one short-term goal. What do you want to have done in the next 12 weeks? So by the end of April, what's one thing, just one? I don't want you to overwhelm yourself and say 50 things. Just one thing financially that you want to have done by April 30th, or technically April 13th, or whatever it is. Think about what you want to achieve 12 weeks from this moment. It can be building a budget, completing the vision casting challenge. And I say this because like the vision casting challenge will make your life wonderful. I promise you. Okay. It'll make everything so easy. You're writing the story of your life. Or just completing your financial blueprint. Do you want to at least have the next steps for you to walk on and the next things laid out for you in the next 12 weeks? That will make your life so much easier. So we went massive and now we're going micro. Okay, macro and micro. Next 12 weeks. What's one thing you want to achieve in the next 12 weeks? Okay. Now, aligning your goals with your current income and lifestyles. You want to be realistic. Okay. I mentioned this already. If you know you're not making enough money right now, don't say I want a Lambo next week. Maybe say you want to increase your income by X number or Y number. Okay. Set priorities. What is the most important thing for you? So if you have many, many goals you want to hit and reach, write them all down because they're all possible, but choose one or two that you can do and build on step by step. Okay. If you're balancing multiple goals, you can't, if you have a lot of debt, you want to go on vacation, one's probably more important than the other. So you're not in more debt, right? Adjust as needed. Okay. Life is fluctuating. Our incomes go up, our incomes go down. Our investments go up, our investments go down. Mo Children are born and people die. You need to adjust your goals and align yourself with your goals as life changes with you, right? This is one of the reasons why I don't know how many of you guys here actually have a financial advisor and or planner, but they say you should sit with them 2 to 4 times per year. Most people barely see their finance person once a year. You should be seeing them with them every quarter because your life is that dynamic, right? Things change. You got to adjust your goals. It's like if you're on a ship and you just said, we're going to go straight and we're going to make it to our destination. It's like, no, you have to change the sail and steer the ship and do all the things, right? You got to adjust. Okay, let's go to our next steps. Define. Wow, we're almost at the end of our road and I'm excited for our massive action plan. But let's define. All right, we built out the muscle. Now we gotta shed the fat to show off our abs, you know what I'm saying? So think of your perfect day and write it down. Be as specific as possible and think big. Who do you want to be? What do you want to do? What do you want to have? Okay. I know I'm talking about finances, but now I'm getting all I'm getting all spiritual, personal fitness guy, personal wellness thing over here talking about be, do, and have. But our finances are one of the things that help us build every other pillar of our life, right? It helps support every other pillar of our life. And if you don't have a strong why, you will not be able to, well, they say those who have a strong why can overcome any how. So I want you to have a strong why. Your why is your wind in your sails. Your why is a thing that makes instead of scaling a mountain, it feels like you're going over a molehill. Okay, so I want you to think about these things because as you're on your financial journey, it makes everything else so much easier. All right. Why? And I want you to start to think of defining your future. What kind of things do you do for recreation? Right? Are you in the stadium watching people play? Or are you on the field? How do you volunteer? How do you give back to community? Because when we give back to community, when we're generous, there's this wonderful thing that happens where money wants to come to you and spend more time with you. Okay, how are you giving back to your community? How do you take care of yourself? How are you resting? How are you finding repose and ways to rejuvenate yourself? We're not robots, and you should plan to be able to enjoy your life and take care of yourself. What kind of car do you drive? What kind of car do you want to drive? Right? What kind of house do you want to live in? And I say live in because they used to say, what kind of house do you want to buy? But hey, maybe buying is not something you're interested in. Maybe you want to live all around the world and be a globetrotter, right? What kind of house do you want to live in, right? How are you experiencing this beautiful planet, this beautiful world that we live in? Define your future. Really think about the future you want to live, right? And another one that couple that ones I didn't say is what kind of foods do you enjoy? Um, when will you retire? What kind of clothes do you want to wear? Start to define your future. My friend Seth, I'm a part of a community called The Next Realm. And one of the things he did so well, like I've always done this, writing down exactly step by step what you want out of your life, how much it's going to cost. But the way he broke it down was so meticulous, where he's like, I want to know the dollar amount. I want to know your perfect life, the exact dollar amount. Be specific, define your future. That's the only way you can hit the mark. You need to know what the mark is. So I'll define your future. And how much does it cost? How much does that dream life cost? And plan for errors. So make it bigger, because there's going to be children that may be born. There may be family members that may get sick. There's all sort of unknowns that happen. So yes, as you're thinking of your dream life, all of these things are important. All these things for you are important. And then think just a little bit bigger. Just a little bit bigger. And then realize it's not big enough and think even bigger. You know? Okay, so that brings us to the end of our road. And now let's map it out. Massive action plan. And I got an elephant here for you. I know, kind of random, right? Why do I have an elephant when it comes to the massive action plan, right? And everyone that's on Instagram, I know you guys are confused. Make sure you tap into the actual Zoom next time. You'll see all these slides. This whole time, everyone's been getting to see wonderful slides, except for everyone on Instagram. I'm sorry, my Instagram people. You just see me not looking at you. So thanks for tapping in anyways, everyone. All right. Massive action plan. Why do we have this elephant? Well, this elephant is your massive action plan. It's your map. This is map the elephant, right? Map the elephant. And oh, wait, there's one more thing. And I gotta say thank you to Travis for sharing this in the chat. When you're defining your future, it's also good to consider who is in your future and the relationships that you want to have. That's also very important to consider. All right. Okay, let's get back to map the elephant. All right. So this is map the elephant. And the question that I have for you is, how would you approach eating this elephant? You guys may have heard this before. Does anyone know the answer on how you would eat an elephant if I told you to eat this entire elephant? You could drop it in the chat or shout it out loud. It's fine by me. But if you had to eat an elephant, what would you do? Yes, you would eat your elephant one piece at a time. Okay, that is how you approach your massive action plan. We want to make something that's big. We want to make something that's audacious. We want to make something that encompasses everything we've talked about, so we can experience a tremendous and profound change in our lives. That's why it's a massive action plan. But if you try to go at it all at once, you will feel overwhelmed. This is why the roadmap is broken down into small, one step at a time. Okay. This is why the Money Mastery Dash, which is essentially the roadmap we walked through, but with some more tools, is one step at a time. Okay. I know I'm throwing a lot of information at you guys today. There's going to be a replay and everything, so don't feel like you have to do it all at once. Don't get lost in the sauce. Okay. So with that being said, when we look at our massive action plan, you might want to start with looking at the large goals like paying off significant debt or saving for retirement. Yes, they will feel overwhelming, but if we start to map it out piece by piece, you'll see how easy it is. Okay. Actually, I have something that's, oh, it's coming up. It's coming up. Jumping in. I'm always jumping ahead of myself. I get too excited when I'm doing this. So let's say you want to save $10,000 for your emergency fund in 12 months. That's a pretty good emergency fund. For some of us, it might be like, I don't know, 2 months worth of emergency fund. If it's a good start, set up your monthly savings targets. $833.33 per month. You might have to look at where you got to shave things. You might have to look at where you got to earn more, but it's a good starting point, right? Step 2, identify. Oh, yeah, this is exactly what I was saying. Look at where you can cut back on your non-essential spending. And then automate your savings. Set up an automatic transfer to your savings account each month, right? These are we had the big goal and you made it bite size. And you can do this in every aspect of your life. Now, this is one of my favorite images. Favorite images in the world. Okay. This is why the whole MIT, a lot of the MITM branding is, I love this picture so much. And I don't know if you, can you guys see this little, can you guys see this on top of the mountain? You guys see that? No? Yeah, a little bit. Okay, wait. How about now? Can you see it? Can you kind of see it? I can't read it. It's very small. Okay, how about now? You guys see what that says? It says finish. And the reason why this finish line is so ridiculously far away is that mastering your finances, like mastering anything, I always say fitness and finance are the same. This is the journey you're on. You got to go up this and wind down some roads and figure out zigzag and go to base camp and get some tools and slowly scale and take a break and scale some more and take a break and all this stuff to get to the peak, to get to that the place that you want to go. And all you need to focus on is just taking one step. And you guys being here tonight is taking one of the first steps. Okay. Consistency, accountability, and regular reviews will get you to that finish line, no matter what the finish line is for you. Okay. And I know that for so many of us, dealing with our finances can feel like an absolute unscalable mountain. At the MITM Club, we turn mountains into molehills. And that brings us to the end of today's session for road mapping. So I hope you guys got a tremendous amount of value. Hope you guys got a lot of insight today. And I'm going to open up the floor to any questions, comments, concerns. I would love to hear what did you guys love from today's session? What did you hate from today's session? Like, what? Yeah, talk to me. And everyone on Instagram, I'm sorry, the rest is just for the MITM Club members. So I will see you guys later. Stay blessed by the best and peace. Okay, so everyone on Instagram is gone. Now it's just uh our folks here. So does anyone have any questions?
Yo, Ty, that was amazing, man. Like that was beautiful. Like, wow. Really, really nice work. Really put together well. But I just missed the very first slide, I believe, the one that said before 100 people after working for 40 years.
Okay, let me find that slide for you.
Hey,
You believe we had like 130 slides today. Okay, where are we? All the way back to the beginning. Did I, was it before this or after this? Yeah, it was before this. Okay, so the slide before here, we got our learning objectives.
learning objectives. No, I didn't get that one.
Okay, yeah,
I
so
did.
the
Oh,
main thing today was I wanted you to have your blueprint for your financial goal setting. So we went through the blueprint
mhm.
and understanding how to build your roadmap. We did our step by step how to build the roadmap. These are some finance facts. I can send them over to you.
Oh, yes, please.
Yeah, I can send them over to you. No problem. Okay. Was there anything else?
True. That was good for me.
Okay, amazing. Thank you. Anyone else have any questions, comments, concerns? I'm trying to get back to the end of the presentation. There's so many slides.
That was good. Lots to think about. Thank you.
Yep, yep. Anytime. Okay. So if we don't have any other questions, that means I probably did a good job with making things accessible. One thing that I will say before we do go, if anyone is having difficulties or you think you may have difficulties building out your massive action plan, I would love to help support you and I would love to give you more tools to help you with that. But the best way to get help with your massive action plan is to join the Money Mastery Dash. Okay. It pretty much goes a little bit more in depth than everything we talked about today. All right. The goal is to help you master your cash 5 days because I know we're all busy. So it's 20 minutes a day, kind of like a scavenger hunt where you're getting everything organized, you're building your road, and then our meeting at the end is for me to help you one-on-one with your massive action plan. In fact, we would have 3 sessions together so I can really help you. And now I'll be the bounce sounding board. You throw ideas at me and we go back and forth so we make something that's wonderful for you in your life. Okay. So that brings us to the end of today's session. I will be sharing a replay later on for everyone. So if you did not yeah, if there's anything you want to look back over, by all means, the replay will be live. I'll be sending it out on WhatsApp. And I'm very grateful for everyone that did join today's session. Next week, we'll be talking about, I believe it's budgeting. Yeah, how you're.
Hi, you did a wonderful job.
Thank you. Thank you so
Proud
much.
of you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. So let me, yeah. So, 1 second, it's right here. Yeah, so next week we're going to talk about how your emergency fund will make you rich. Okay. That one, I've been building this one for like 3 weeks. You guys are gonna love this one. All right. It's like I'm trying to, and they said if I had more time, I would have made it shorter. That when you're writing, I'm trying to make it shorter so it's not a full 2 hours. But yeah, how your emergency fund will make you rich. And make sure that as we go through all these things, I'm trying to make it like step by step. So by the 27th, right? When we go into budgeting, you'll have everything you need to actually start making a proper, strong, solid budget. So you're stepping into February with a little more power, a little more vision. Okay. With vision comes provision, right? If you can hold it in your head, you can hold it in your hand. That's what I want us to be doing here during these sessions. So that being said, thank you guys so much. I do appreciate you. Lots of love. I hope you have a great evening. And I will see you later.
Oh.
All right. Peace, guys.
See you soon. Bye.
Later. You just stop all my recordings.
Mm-hmm.
But